So you testified that you reviewed a number of hashtags that you deemed were negative towards Ms. Heard. And the four you picked: justice for Johnny Depp, Amber Heard is an abuser, we just don't like you, Amber.
But she was brave enough to say what the silent majority of Brits are actually thinking.
Silent majority. Silent majority.
And in a break from our publicised programming, we now go live to Punk Politics with Aid Thompson.
Ladies and gents, welcome back to Punk Politics. I'm Aid Thompson. Have you ever noticed that wherever you go online, without fail, there is always this marching band of angrily ignorant hate tweeters and hot air hydrants out there, you know? Oh, Meghan's only ever out for herself. Brexit just ain't been done properly yet. I think climate change is just a hoax to sell sun cream. Like, I always think of it like, you know when you scroll through Instagram and every third photo now is an advert? Or on Twitter, it's a tweet that says promoted or ad, right? Like, I like to think of these accounts as promoting stupidity. You know, like they're advertising it. Every third comment is akin to them saying, "Hey, have you forgotten how fun it can be to be dumb? Feeling a bit down? Try damaging your frontal lobe. Because take it from me, ignorance really is bliss." You know? But then you're like, well then, what? Why are you so mad all the time? Where's your poppy though, Aid? Where's your picking poppy? Like if the rabid, sottish, tribal hate of the early 21st century turned out to be just a sort of stealth guerrilla marketing campaign. Like every third comment, every third tweet, just stealth promoting dumbness or a product that is dumb. Would you actually be that surprised? I don't know if I would be. Like, it wouldn't be that shocking, would it? If the whole time this just all turned out to be some guerrilla marketing campaign to promote some dumb product. Like, are you an impressionable moron? Then buy Fad Energy. Buy Fad. It's incredible. I love it. Well, yeah, it keeps me awake at times I would normally have bored myself to sleep. Then someone asks us if we've tried it yet. And we're like, no, because I can't decide if these people are buying it because they're stupid or if the drink has made them stupider, you know? But yeah, everywhere you go online, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your family WhatsApps, newspaper comment sections, no matter what's going on, no matter what the topic is, these guys rock up in all weathers, without fail. Their commitment to their work is inspiring. These guys show up, such as their steadfast commitment to railing about Meghan or denying science or lying about Brexit. I hate Harry and Meghan, but I can't explain why. Well, CO2 is only a problem if we stop growing plants. Yeah, besides, CO2 is actually a good thing for vegetables. Now, believe it or not, most of these people are actually quite harmless. Because in real life, they're nowhere near as angry and unhinged as they come off online. So as much as we wish they would come off online, it is important to remember that deep down, they're kittens. You know, they're like, they're actors portraying an angry person on a stage set by Twitter. Because in real life, they know it's not a healthy way to live, to go around screaming at everyone. They know it's much better, much healthier to keep that stuff all bottled up inside and unleash it from a distance, privately, behind an avatar that's like Danger Mouse or something. That is what always gets me, is this sort of violent hostility and the threats of like, I'm gonna find you and do this to you. Like, am I supposed to feel threatened by Super Ted now? Not even Tex felt threatened by Super Ted, and he got bodied by him every week. Anyway, so they don't really take it that seriously. Plus, it's estimated that a quarter of all accounts posting anti-Meghan or anti-EU or pro-Trump posts are manufactured bots. Because in the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, there were reports that somebody had set up 600 sock puppet accounts, and that those had generated a quarter of all of the anti-Amber Heard tweets. Like, they were brand new accounts, signed up for in the preceding months. anonymous bots. Now just think of the impact of having that content blasted out all day, every day. You're just trying to get a fair trial. And then you've got network news covering it like, well, that's right, Bob. Amber Heard is a liar is what was trending all morning. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's see what was posted on incel.io. You know, it's wild. It's like, if we are to consider Twitter, or X, as they now call it, if we are to consider that as a sort of town hall meeting, like imagine there's 100 people in the village hall and they're all there to discuss a new bridge or something. Well, this is like somebody paid 25 actors to come in at the back, take their seats, put up their hands and be like, I don't think we really need a bridge. My cousin says bridges ain't real. I represent the bridge phobic community. Just one after the other, blasting out chaotic nonsense. Which is fine, you know? Like, there's a market for paying people to say rubbish. I mean, we all know that, don't we? It's just, you know, why bother going to the trouble of setting up 600 accounts to boil and bubble up that cauldron of waste, only to have Fox News and GB News then say it all? You know, it's like, then they're making the money, bro. Why set up the account? Like, why not just get yourself a job on their network saying the stuff? Like, setting up the sock puppets seems kind of a misinformation middleman. Like, you're missing out on the money. Are you all there? Have you had one too many cans of fad?
Buy Fad Energy.
Anyway, between tweaking tweeters, chaotic commenters, and bot accounts that have been set up to represent the views of people who don't actually exist, we arrive at a place where the discourse becomes distorted. Because politicians see a trend like, I don't know, trans women are not women. Or, you know, it could be anything, like hashtag stop the boats now. And they seem to think that if they channel the same nonsense as all of these people, or, you know, Russian bots, they'll win over the public, who they think are posting this stuff, right? But it's like they've been tricked. Okay, you still with me? And then it gets worse, because then the mainstream newspapers like the Telegraph or the Express, they look at the trends and they think that's what the public believe as well. So you get right-wing politicians who are trying to appeal to this ranting lunatic market. You've got newspapers running to conspiracy theories and an obsession with woke. But then here is the problem, is they're all trying to appeal to a market that doesn't actually exist. Because it's well known that 80% of the posts on Twitter come from just 20% of the accounts. And within those 20%, you've got a very loud minority that is then backed up by like a few bots. But the topics and talking points and narratives that are blasted out by them are not really shared by the public. And they don't really resonate with them either. Like, the actual public in objective reality are more interested in why their mortgages have doubled, the cost of living crisis, the housing crisis, the NHS, and for the younger demographics, probably, why can't I afford to go out anymore? Meanwhile, the right-wingers are like, I don't understand, right? I've been banging on about trans this and woke that for months, and I've never been more popular on Twitter, but how come every time there's a YouGov poll, it's saying we suck? It just doesn't make sense. You know, then the polling collapses and the newspaper sales decline because the readers are like, well, hang on a second, this is pure insanity. You know, leave the ECHR? Dismantle the BBC? What planet are they on? Even the Telegraph's own poll a couple of weeks ago said that their own readers want a second referendum to reverse Brexit. But you will never see that acknowledged in an editorial line. Instead, they'll revert to this contorted perception that what happens on their Twitter feed is what is taking place in reality. Well, they're all talking about trans and refugees, so maybe we'll bang on about those. Right, but I don't think that's what people are actually caring about right now. No, nonsense. It's all the rage. I mean, it is literally that, but also not really what people care about, because look, our polling is awful, sir. Even the newspaper's own polls have shifted from their favour and our favour. No. Listen. I know you might think that because that's what it looks like on face value, Tarquin. Okay. But here's the thing, dear boy. There's actually a silent majority. I love this idea that you get this rabid rabble of morons, this chaotic mosh pit of certifiable lunatics who see no issue with screaming from the rooftops about everything from Meghan to masks to Brexit to Zelensky. Suddenly, when it's a YouGov or a Telegraph poll, well then they're like, do you know what, Gary? Sometimes less is more, all right? Keep your cards close to your chest, son. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think there is a silent majority of still very Brexity, statue-obsessed types out there? Or do you maybe think, like me, that silent majority should become a euphemism for support for yourself that you've imagined in your brain? So maybe I should call my Patreon that. It's like every time we hear a low-tax ideologue or a stop-the-boats type bang on about how there's some supportive silent majority out there, our brains should trip switch into interpreting it for what it is, which is a narcissism that won't allow this person to accept that they might be wrong about a few things, that they're less popular than they think they are. As always, let me know in the comments below. And be nice in the comments, be nice. Most of you are nice, but the ones that are not, well, poo-poo to you. Because you know why? Because even though you all tell me that I'm awful, and I think that I'm way funnier than I actually am, there is a silent majority who love me and agree with everything that I say. And they're my friends. And they love me. And they just go to a different school. And besides, I've got Danger Mouse and Super Ted on my side. So, yeah.